Alyssa Milano. I knew you were gonna be hot when you were 9.
Hot she may be, Quagmire, but did you predict she'd be such a moron? Hello everyone, this is My Two Cents. It's been a while now since the Kavanaugh hearings, but after finding this TV segment, I couldn't help but go after it. Female celebrities are pretty much the only exception to the feminists are fat and ugly rule, and after seeing this, Alyssa Milano just might be the most hypocritical and worst feminist of all. No need to bore you with the details up front, let's just get into it.
I want to bring in the conversation someone who was at the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation, actress and activist Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, and why the heck was she there anyways? That room was pretty crowded. And what specifically qualified Milano for being at that hearing other than that she's an outspoken feminist celebrity?
Alyssa, you have had a front row seat to all of this. Literally. You were there for the confirmation hearing. The cardboard version of you was there in the Saturday Night Live rendition of the hearing. But you've watched this all week. You've watched President Trump turn from she is credible, let's listen to her, let's have an investigation, to I'm going to call it an all-out assault last night. And now just moments ago, Sarah Sanders defending the president. What's your take?
Yeah, and I would say Trump was entirely reasonable. Before we knew anything about Christine Blasey Ford, he appropriately said, let's listen to what she has to say, while still granting Brett Kavanaugh the presumption of innocence and the opportunity to defend himself. If Dr. Ford had presented credible evidence to show that her accusations were truthful, I firmly believe President Trump would have acknowledged as such, just like I would have. However, instead, Dr. Ford completely discredited herself and conclusively demonstrated that she was either lying or suffering from some sort of false memory disorder. But in either case, it's not that insane to think you'll get criticized after demonstrating that you're full of crap.
I'm filled with a lot of rage today, I have to tell you.
And so am I, that idiots like you keep defending obviously false accusations of rape while simultaneously speaking out in favor of real sexual predators like former President Bill Clinton. Don't think we've forgotten your now deleted tweet, Milano.
And it started last night, and I couldn't sleep at all last night. And I just can't believe that this is where we are, that we are making distinct choices about who we want to be as a country. We are making distinct choices of the people that we are putting in positions of power, whether it be Trump or Kavanaugh or our institutions. Sexual abuse has been institutionalized in this country, and it is heartbreaking for me. And I just don't think we could allow another generation of women and children to feel as though their government is not listening, that doesn't care, that they are invisible.
Then why is it that you don't seem to care so much about men like Bill Clinton, who I just mentioned, Cory Booker, who admitted in his own book to trying to grab a woman's breast, Keith Ellison, credibly accused of abuse, Justin Trudeau, accused of groping a female reporter, and more recently, Michael Avenatti, who has had a restraining order filed against him for domestic abuse? You talk a big game about how sexual assault has been institutionalized, even persisting in accusing men like Kavanaugh after their accusers are discredited. But you turn a blind eye when men on your political side of the aisle are credibly accused. Do you not see the hypocrisy in your refusal to call out real abusers just because they're feminist allies? Are you really an advocate of women, or just your own agenda?
And I'm filled with rage for Sarah to just go on and say, you know, he was just stating the facts. Well, I mean, the sky is blue. I can state that fact. But if I do it tonally a little off, like, the sky is blue, I'm mocking someone that may have said that.
Yeah, and if you say stupid crap that is demonstrated to be false, you're gonna get mocked. Grow up.
So tone is everything right now, and we are making a choice, and the Republican Party is making a choice to back this man and this administration in this time, right now, right here, and history will reflect upon this time as being devastating.
Devastating that a man who passed 7 FBI background checks and had no credible accusations against him was confirmed. But not devastating that credibly accused progressives continue to hold office. Huh?
So you said that people are not, women are not getting support from their government. It almost seems like the opposite of that, based on comments the president made, comments that Lindsey Graham had been making. The president said it's a scary time for young men.
And he's absolutely right. It is extremely scary to be a young man when you know that a mere accusation, devoid of any supporting evidence, can be used to fire you from your job, criminally charge you, and force you to pay legal fees that will leave you broke for years to come. It's even happening to boys as young as 13 years old, like Keith Bailey of Colorado Springs.
Rain points out, by the way, that 1 out of every 6 women will become the victim of rape or attempted rape in her lifetime. And
all right, there are a few things that should be noted about this 1 in 6 women are raped in their lifetime claim. The organization RAIN, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, is the organization making this claim. If you go to their website, the only source they cite in favor of this is one study that was conducted in 1996 under a Department of Justice grant by the National Violence Against Women Survey. Numerous researchers, including Bonnie Fisher at the University of Cincinnati, have noted that other studies conducted contemporaneously found radically different results, some finding that rape occurred 10 times less often than this study claimed. In particular, Fisher notes that broadening the definition of rape to include so-called psychological coercion beyond actual force gave researchers much more wiggle room to inflate the number of rapes that the survey produced. Beyond that, researchers on all sides agree that the wording of questions within surveys leads to drastically higher or lower results depending on specifically what the participants were asked. Putting it in Fisher's own words, the challenges are especially daunting when attempting to discern when, in an intimate encounter, a sexual advance crosses the line from imprudence to criminal behavior. But putting those nuances aside, RAIN itself admits that it primarily relies on the Bureau of Justice's National Crime Victimization Survey for current statistics about sexual assault. This is relevant because the National Crime Victimization Survey differentiates between rape and sexual assault in its statistics, the latter's definition being far broader. Keeping all of that in mind, the National Crime Victimization Survey estimated that there were 188,380 rapes and sexual assaults, not just rapes, committed against women and men in the year 2010. Now, even ignoring the fact that the statistic did not differentiate between rape and sexual assault, and included men as well as women, that would mean that assuming there are roughly 150 million women in the United States, then only about 0.1% of the female population experienced sexual assault over the course of that year. I say all this not because I'm claiming I can definitively refute the findings of that 1996 study to which RAIN refers. I'm saying only that acting like it's commonly accepted amongst researchers that 1 in 6 women are raped in their lifetime is misleading, to say the least.
The statistics on false rape accusations or attempted rape accusations, as you said, somewhere between 2 and 8%.
Okay, this one is even worse than the 1 in 6 figure. What exactly is the source for this claim that only 2% of rape reports are false? Author Wendy McElroy of the Independent Institute asked that question, and in her 2006 article reported, "Several years ago, I tried to track down the origin of this much-cited stat. The first instance I found of the figure was in Susan Brown Miller's book on sexual assault entitled Against Our Will. Brown Miller claimed that false accusations in New York City had dropped to 2% after police departments began using police women to interview alleged victims. Elsewhere, the 2% figure appears without citation or with only a vague attribution to FBI sources. Although the figure shows up in legislation, such as the Violence Against Women Act, legal scholar Michelle Anderson of Villanova University Law School reported in 2004, no study has ever been published which sets forth an evidentiary basis for the 2% false rape complaint thesis. In short, there is no reason to credit that figure. In fact, a study conducted by Eugene Kanan at the University of Purdue found that 41% of all reported rapes are false. In any case, according to the FBI, in approximately 25% of sexual assault cases, DNA evidence proves that the primary suspect is not guilty, which means that it can't be the case that only 2% of rape reports are false.
So
yes,
it's not that the government's not supporting it. They're being the opposite of supporting.
I will also add that 80% of victims of sexual assault do not report at all. So we're talking about a very minuscule point of women that are falsely reporting.
As I just demonstrated, that's garbage. False accusations are quite common. But that being said, even if they weren't, is it any less despicable when women do falsely report? Do you think that women who falsely accuse men and destroy their reputations, as well as empty their wallets with legal fees, deserve to be criminally charged? My guess is you don't. You don't care if innocent men are thrown under the bus so long as it serves your feminist agenda.
Also, men are having a hard time right now. I mean, come on. I feel as though he is completely and totally belittling the intelligence of the American people.
As I mentioned before, 13-year-old boys are getting falsely accused and nonetheless arrested. In your own words, come on!
But he's not doing it by accident, and neither is Lindsey Graham. They're speaking to a huge portion of the population who agree with them. What do you think about that?
Do they agree with him, or is he using some sort of like cult-like force to try to make them see that?
Watch out, folks! President Trump and Lindsey Graham are using voodoo magic to make everyone stupid. Never mind that the facts are against you, Miss Milano. It must be voodoo magic.
I mean, I'm not sure if you were to have a real conversation with any American, whether they be Democrat or Republican, that they would side with this kind of behavior where we've reached a low where we're actually mocking people and their stories of hurt and of pain. Who are we? Who do we want to be as a country? What are we trying to project to the young people of this world, to the young people of this country? It's heartbreaking to me.
I couldn't agree more, Alyssa. Then why have you expressed your love for actual rapists like Bill Clinton? You hypocrite!
And I think we are in a time right now that is very gray, right? This is the Me Too generation. What is happening right now is we are defining boundaries that have never been defined before. So whereas Trump might say that white men have it very difficult right now, I'm saying that women, young people, have had it difficult for generations and generations and generations, and we will not be silenced any longer. And if that means that men have a hard time right now, then I'm sorry. This is the way the pendulum has to shift for us to have equality and security.
Says the female millionaire actress broadcasting her views to the entire nation on national TV in a studio that undoubtedly has armed security. Don't lecture us about equality and security, Miss Milano.
In our country and within our societal views of what it means to be a woman, we are considered less than, and we cannot stand for it anymore.
Idiots like Alyssa Milano can grandstand about how women are oppressed, we live in a rape culture, and whatever else they've got on their agenda. But the facts always prove them to be 1. Wrong in their assertions, 2. Highly privileged by the media, such that their claims are broadcast far and wide while opposition is silenced, and 3. Supporters of actual rapists because those people are feminist allies. There are a lot of feminist fails out there, but when it comes to people like Alyssa Milano who are propping up false rape accusations against innocent men while defending actual rapists just to get their way, I mean, come on. And that is my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. Before I go, just a quick reminder to everyone about Christmas merch in the My 2 Cents Teespring store. This t-shirt will only be available until December 31st, so be sure to get yours now. Thanks everyone for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. And if you're a fan of my channel, please consider becoming a patron. For as low as $1 a month, you'll receive instant access to patron-exclusive videos, earn the right to participate in patrons-only live streams, have your name listed in the end credits of every video, and numerous other rewards. Be sure to check out my blog, my2centsvideos.com, and all other social media platforms as well. Uploads are every Thursday and Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, so stay tuned for more videos.